In July of 1690, King Billy marched his men down to the Boyne near the town of Drogheda to reclaim their homeland in the name of the British Crown. And now, this July, there's been a lobby failure, so I'm going to keep on rabbiting. This July, we are about to see another battle for the ages between the English and the Irish as M&Ms and the side of JOON squad face off against one another in a scrap for last position in Division 1 of the Irish Dota League Season 5. I'm Runtel, going to be taking you through this one with my dearest and greatest, Mr. E-Clown. How are we tonight?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm looking forward to seeing some what evidence would suggest is bottom of the barrel Dota for the Div1. But I can't help but feel like in every game, both teams here have just kind of looked like out of their element, just kind of off balance. So I look forward to what I think could quite easily be a 1-1, and then hopefully off of that 1-1, we could see some confidence build from each team, and then they can continue to perform better in the playoffs. But it looks like we have lost one side of the team, so it looks like we could be getting a 1-0 victory sooner than we think.
Perhaps they're jumping back in now. It seems like everybody is hopping out and hopping in. Perhaps there's been an update or something. But let's have a bit more of a discussion on these two teams. So JOON's obviously a team that you are very experienced playing into, a team that you know quite well. What do you think hasn't been working for JOON's this season compared to previous seasons where they were at times competitive even with the likes of Wongs?
Yeah, for sure. There's been a noticeable fall off in their drafting style. It seems to have been a lot more kind of cobbled together, a lot less kind of single-minded cohesion, which has been something that they've always been very strong with. They've always been very like hive mind-esque, can make them quite challenging to play against. But they felt like they've had a lot more disconnect than previously. Maybe due to some drafter switch ups, as I've been informed. I think that is probably the easiest thing that they could fix. Beyond that, it's also just not the nicest patch for Solar Crest. He's been at his strongest when there's been the option for him to like pull out his Earth Spirit and do dazzling plays with this. And that's just not really as viable as it once was. And so he's forced towards these sniper heroes, which as a support main, I think he's struggling on more so.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. Although one player who I think has been showing up quite well for the side of JOON squad is Mr. Diddles, who's had a great tournament. And with him on 5 this game, I think it's him on 4 this game, Mousy on 5. I'm very interested to watch this M&M offlane. You know, on paper, the combination of Corey and Reese, arguably the strongest offlane of the tournament on paper. Interested to see how they match up into what are, I believe, also on paper, the 2 lowest MMR players on the side of JOON. So I think that offlane for the side of M&M is going to be really critical this game.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that they've kind of put their eggs in one basket before with M&Ms, where they've really heavily lent towards like, okay, just give Corey as like his best hero and give Reese his best hero and just try and run away with the game, which I think in maybe a couple of seasons ago would have worked, but we're now finding ourselves in a way more competitive state in this season 5, and you're just not going to be able to 2v5 most of these games as you would have been able to a few seasons back.
We are hopping into the draft now. We see our first couple bans come up on the screen. JOON squad choose to ban out the Dazzle, whereas M&M's bang out the Ringmaster. So interesting, none of the Giga meta supports being banned out yet, neither the Undying nor the Shaman.
Yeah, a couple of, I guess, pseudo respect bans. Corey's level 30 Axe getting banned out by JOON squad, so they might not be able to do their homework in via Dota buff, but they can at least check the previous matches, and it seems like they have kept up to date. Interesting to ban out the Dazzle as well. I'm not entirely sure the vision behind that, but maybe they just have a lot of onus on lanes, and they feel like if they don't fall too far behind in lanes, then they've got a good shot in this.
Next set of bans there is the NP. Makes sense to ban versus JOON Squad. They play it on 3 positions, so something that you don't want to face into. They also ban out the Dawnbreaker. That is absolutely a Faith Kian classic. It is by far his best hero, not just of this patch, but arguably his best hero full stop. So not surprised to see that taken out early. And the last ban then is the Shadow Shaman, which is just something you have to either pick or ban this patch, right? But the Undying has been let through so
The
far.
Undying and the Batrider have both been left in. They choose to ban out the Doom. You can only assume that they're going to choose to take one of those two heroes. They do take the Quap. That's another one. It's quite unlikely you're going to see this being flexed to support. So you're showing a core early, but this is probably conclusively the best hero of the patch right now. It can be played in any core role, and it's one of the top heroes of the patch when it comes to just reaching a certain Exodia timing, where it's like, oh, this hero is now just unbeatable at this stage of the game. It just caps itself.
With that being said, though, it does open up M&M to actually take the Undying here, and they take the Bristle back here instead, which they have been flexing between 1 and 3, but is Corey's bread and butter, so we will assume this is an offlaner, right?
Yeah, so they're putting onus on core picks here. A lot of the meta supports are still available. I would be surprised if JOON Squad weren't to try and take the Batrider if it makes it through this wave of bans. I know that they play it on Mousy, and I would be surprised if Solar Crest doesn't play it mid. It seems like his kind of hero.
He absolutely does. We've seen him play it in previous seasons. Hasn't been practicing it recently, but is like an old glove to him, something that he's quite experienced on. They take out the TA and, of course, the Corey Beastmaster there. Corey is a level 30 Beastmaster, I believe you said, so unsurprising to see that taken out. But once again, the Undying is still in that pool, ready to go if they want it.
Yeah, they maybe feel like they already have the Undying answered with the Queen of Pain. I don't think that's strictly true, but the Queen of Pain, I would say, probably does force the Undying to be put onto a support role, which is not really where you want from the pick this early in the draft. You want it to be able to be flexed to offlane, so they've gone for something a bit more bread and butter. They've gone for the Disruptor. That will most likely be Sassy playing that 5. A very good hero against Quap currently. Just anything that you can use to get your hands on her and keep her down, really.
Really good hero into Quap and an extremely good hero this patch. The change they made to him at the start of this patch, doubling the length of the slow on his Q off the back of that Thunderstorm facet, really changed his laning. Disruptor's biggest weakness for a significant period of time was just that they lowered the damage on Thunderstrike or the slow on Thunderstrike so much that his laning became unsustainable and you had to essentially draft it into a winning lane. Now, with that change made, with that level 1 slow, if you pair that with something like a Bristleback, something that has a slow and has damage, it's a very strong laner. Next pickup we see for JOON Squad is the Tusk, which is undoubtedly the mousy pick, right?
So this is almost undoubtedly, I would say, at this stage, you're looking at the safe lane here of Quap and Tusk, now that Mousy has been switched onto this pos 5 position. He's a proficient Tusk player, and I know that Catalyst likes this Queen of Pain, as any carry player kind of has to if they want to survive in the current patch. So that's definitely a lane to be reckoned with.
Next pick of JOON Squad is Silencer. It's Mr. Diddle's most played hero this tournament. It's something he's been playing in both the 4 and the 5 position, so he's very comfortable on it. How do you rate Silencer as a 4 versus a 5?
I can't say it's something I have the most experience on, but in my games of Silencer, I've never felt like I'm desperately raring towards an item. I suppose last patch you did want to rush the Ags, but I don't think they do that anymore. So I don't think it has such benefits, particularly from being a pos 4. But if it's your best hero, it's your best hero, and clearly he just feels like he can play it into anything. But speaking of best heroes, we see Reese's picked out.
The Dark Willow, a level 30 on this hero, a hero he's played quite heavily, not just in this league, but in previous leagues as well. Some decent synergy as well there with the Disruptor, you know, always good to have multiple circles going on. The Venn diagrams of doom as it might be. How do you rate Dark Willow in the current patch? Is it as good as it used to be? As someone who plays it a lot, I know.
It's definitely it's a jack of all trades hero, master of none, but still better than master of one, I would say. It provides some team fight, it provides good damage, it supplements lockdown. I do think it can be kind of picked as like a band-aid for, oh, my offlaner doesn't really have a stun, so I guess I have to pick this, and that's when it feels worst. But against something like this silencer and this quap, it'll definitely be able to put in work. And that
Blood
will
now
be
showing
the
the
young
puck.
handyman puck as well.
Now, you mentioned earlier the Batrider pick could be imminent here. It's particularly good into a hero like Puck where he doesn't necessarily have to worry about the amount of wave clear that that hero has. Could we potentially be seeing a Bat straight off this Puck pick?
We could, if he's feeling flashy. This puck pick completely eliminates any chance of this being a quap mid. That matchup is like nigh on unplayable on the lane. If he's feeling flashy, then I could see him picking himself up the Batrider, but the Void Spirit is the much more kind of bread and butter option. He opts for the Monkey King.
Yeah, I was about to say the Void Spirit's a hero he's been playing a lot this league and a hero he's been practicing a lot. Monkey King was not one that I had on my radar at all, Moth.
No, not. I'm not sure I entirely see the vision behind it when the Void Spirit is right there. Solar Crest is a very proficient drafter when he's in the driving seat, so I'm not going to discredit him too heavily. I'm sure he has a plan with it. I just don't see what it is.
I don't love it into the Disruptor either. Being able to glimpse him back when he's jumping back to those trees, being able to use that Static Storm on a patch that you think that he's in.
I don't
It's
love
a
it
nice
against
support to have
any.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to be
it's not
honest.
great. It gets kited by Puck. The Dark Willow kites it. It feels tough here.
I think Puck will have will struggle a bit for CS online. But past that point, I wouldn't call it a counter particularly. Solar Crest and Young Handyman have played each other like dozens of times, probably since Solar Crest has been in the scene. They've been playing against each other mid, so it's safe to say that these two players do know each other and do have a feel for what can beat the other player. Certainly a lot better. They'll know a lot more about the matchups than I do on the mid lane, at least.
Waiting on these last core picks now. Interesting to see the side of M&Ms are banning out those offlaners, recognizing that's going to be that Faith Kian pick last. In terms of what's left in Kian's pool that he likes to play, we're looking at things like potentially a Magnus coming up here with the Empower onto Monkey King. I think that that's something that they might favor. Also, just to say, the Undying is still there if they want to take it in the 3 position. It's not a bad call either, especially into heroes like this Dark Willow, like this Bristleback, just to give you that kind of AoE control that they're currently lacking. I think either of those two could work quite well here.
They really struggle to hit a tombstone. I would actually love it if they were to pull it out. Not that familiar with Kian's current wheelhouse when it comes to hero pools. I know that in the past he's been like a big Sanking player, but that's nigh on unplayable at this point. I know he's a big Pango player, which with a Diffusal could be very, very good against Bristleback, but I think struggles against the Willow and the Puck. I would love to see an Undying pick here. Insane that it's made it to the final phase.
Yeah, probably the first time this entire tournament. I think we're going to see either Undying or again that Magnus with the Empower from Monkey King. It's a nice bit of synergy to pull off there to make sure that even if the Monkey King does fall behind, that he has that way back into this game. So one of those two I expect to see pulled out here. Other things he's been practicing, he's been playing a lot of the Veno offlane recently, giving them an option in terms of slowing down that Bristleback could be something they might favor here. But I'm in full agreement. I would really like to see the Undying pulled off here because you can blink in with your Queen of Plane, drop that Global Silence, and then have that Tombstone Flesh Golem on top of it. That feels like a very difficult team fight to win, at least for the first 25 minutes of the game.
Yeah, the only thing that I guess could be breeding some hesitation is M&Ms have managed to do kind of the dream scenario when you have last pick of keeping that offlane carry pick open. So they don't exactly know what they're going to be laning against on JOON squad. And if it is something suboptimal, then they can just swap out the lanes. So that could be the only thing that is stalling them down to these last 15 seconds. They're going to opt for the Kunkka. Again, this hero can kind of be a bit of a band-aid hero, It's just kind of you plaster it on. It's like, oh guys, we really need some stuns. I don't think this hero excels at any one thing other than lockdown and team fights. So I'm curious to see how M&M are going to use this last pick if they feel like there is a big Corey hero left. I'm leaning towards no. I think they've mostly been banned out.
I mean, the main thing in his wheelhouse that's still in that pool, according to the run and tell research, is the Slardar is still available in that pool. It's pretty good into Monkey. It's pretty good into Kunkka. It can run down the Quap. A Slardar pick here wouldn't feel like the worst thing in the world.
It wouldn't. They would have pretty insane D armor with Bristle. Their tempo would be decent, but I think they could maybe end up feeling like they lose one fight and they lose the game. So they've opted for the Luna. It's a pure team fight on team fight clash here, really. We will see some 5-on-5 action in these games for sure. I'm just concerned about this Luna matchup into Queen of Pain. I feel like Queen of Pain just has a completely free game here. But they do decide to put the Queen of Pain mid, actually, which is...
Yeah, it's going to be Solar Crest. Interesting.
That's a big game changer. This lane is insanely difficult, like nigh on unplayable, which is the part of the game that Puck kind of struggles on the most. So if Puck is getting a good head start out of the lane, I actually think this could be a definite win condition for M&Ms in this one. But Solar Crest might just be saying, bloody hell, I'll take him on the mid lane and then we'll win him on the late game. You know, it's just as possible. He's a cocky guy. I'm sure he feels able.
He just chose the hero with the biggest knife. He went full Crocodile Dundee on their ass. He's like, he's holding 2 knives. He'll survive in the bush. He'll survive in the mid lane. This is what we need. But yeah, this Luna, I am a little bit concerned about its survivability in these team fights, but I would have liked to have seen that Quap going 1, especially with a tag team coming out from that Tusk. But alas, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, I wouldn't be in my 20s and casting Dota on a Thursday night. Let's get this one going. So folks, a reminder, this is the last game of Division 1 of the Irish Dota League Season 5, taking place between M&Ms and the JOON squad. The loser of this game will fall into the last seed for the bracket and will therefore play the second ranked team, which I believe at the moment is the side of Wong's Bakery, correct?
Yeah, but those guys are terrible, so I rate their chances.
We'll have to wait and see. Okay, let's get straight into this game. So looks like immediately the side of M&Ms are going to pop this smoke, start moving towards the same area as JOON squad. We could see a big level 1 fight here, and with those quills, oh, the smoke of both the Quap and the Bristle pop, so they know they're here. Early word comes out from the side of M&M, spotting out this movement, a tree wandering in the woods. If it falls down here, they throw out the stun. It lands onto this Dark Willow, but the shards does block off his escape path, but not enough where they can actually chase him away. And look at the slow coming out from that level 1 Thunder Strike from the Disruptor stops that chase in its tracks. Faith Kyan, though, being a little zesty here, walking back into them, hit up with those quills, as well as that Lunar being forced to walk away from the rune spot. So right now, looking like it's going to be a clean 1-for-1 potentially. Both teams deciding that they don't necessarily want the smoke quite yet.
Yeah, he took the quills first on the Bristleback. I think maybe if he'd have ended up with the goo, there could have been a potential turn there. But maybe feeling like he needs this for the lane early on. Monkey King's
Solar
been caught
out here. Does throw out the stun, but hit up with the Brambles. Gonna be some trouble. One more right click. Down goes this Monkey King, and Corey gets that first blood. Follow-up kill, though, onto the Disruptor. It looks like the Luna also in some trouble here. Right clicks raining down onto her. One more, all they're going to need, but they do lose Godstrunger's driver in the meantime. And now it looks like even more troubles for the side of JOON squad. Another hero down. The Luna pick up this kill. It's a 3-for-1 in this level 1 fight. And Mousy, not many places that he can go here, forced to walk away with little to no HP. So a huge level 1 fight there, heavily favoring the side of M&Ms.
Yeah, really nice start for M&Ms, and on exactly the heroes that you want it on as well. I believe it was all 3 cores that got the kills. It was. So yeah, just exactly who you wanted on. And Bristleback has opted for the Seeing Red facet as well, which it's a pretty 50-50 divide on which one they take these days, but this kind of says to me he wants to carry this game. He feels like he has to.
Yeah, and especially mentioned beforehand, Rob missed the pause 1 for the side of M&Ms. Not actually a pause 1 player, just playing this league, coming in from the support role. So Might be why we're seeing a Luna here, where this hero isn't necessarily the most popular right now, just something he might be comfortable on. Bottom lane, they do almost lose the Dark Bullet, but now the follow-up with that goo onto the Silencer means that he's going to go down, another kill, and now Solarcrest looking like he's going to be in some trouble. Hit up with this goo as well as these stacks of quills, gets blocked up by the creeps there on the Bristleback, meaning that they can't kill this monkey quite yet, and he does have an 18 stick, but a very poor start here for the side of the Junes.
Yeah, and this is something we spoke about before the draft, right? This is on paper, on numbers alone, one of the highest ranked offlaners that we've seen in the league, or offlane duos that we've seen in the league, let alone versus, I would be inclined to say, one of the lowest that we have at least this season. So there is definitely potential for M&Ms to be able to get more of a foothold in this game than they have been able to in their previous series.
One thing of note here that we didn't mention at the start, actually, Mousy moving into that 4 role for this game, with Gozdrunk as driver actually going in onto that safe lane for this game on the Silencer. So they have actually done a position swap on the side of JOON squad.
Always kind of exciting. I would love it if teams did this more often. I quite like it when there's a bit of flexibility between those two roles. Tusk is a hero that can be flexible across the two, but as we kind of discussed in the draft, maybe they just feel like Silencer doesn't really need items in this game compared to what Tusk might need. So yeah, let Silencer be a bit more sacrificial.
Yeah, so far it looks like it's going well for them here in this off lane, with this Luna being caught out, tag team ready to go. Do they have enough damage to pop him down here, doing what they can? Nice shards there from Mousy, but the glimpse is there to stop him in his tracks for that moment there. So he just about lives here on the Luna. Needs to be careful of this next Tidebringer, but gets back into the trees, pops that salve, and is safe for the time being.
Yeah, nicely played from Sassy, doing a good job of putting himself in between him and his carry, something that I think a lot of disruptive players are a bit too scared to do. Actually abusing the innate a little bit as well, which is definitely an underrated one. So frustrating to play against for Tusk.
Yeah, really be able to push away those tag teams. Looking at these CS charts so far, one thing of note I kind of want to point out is this mid lane. If you have a look at this Puck versus Quap matchup, the one that you said was essentially unwinnable for Quap, Solarcrest just mid-diffing own a little bit here. The 15-3 into the 11-4.
Yeah, as I said, maybe he's just confident in it. I've known this guy for a while at this point, and he's not afraid to put himself in a poor position for the sake of the game. And in this one, he just felt like he could outskill it.
Indeed. Right click's raining down to Faith Kian, but this is the thing. They don't really have any kill threat here on the Kunkka, but they do onto this Tusk. He's brought back there with that big old glimpse, but it's not enough to kill him this time. So stabilizing out this offlane quite nicely with the Kunkka getting a decent start. Meanwhile, mid lane, it seems like the Puck has picked up that little water room, but now bottom, huge trouble for this Bristleback. We were mentioning how well this offlane was going, and now, after an unseen mistake, Catalyst picks up a kill on the Bristle on this monkey. Exactly what you want to see if you're a JOONs fan.
Yeah, they've done well. They have done well. I really believed in the Tusk Quap lane, and they've decided not to play it, and they've proven me absolute egg on my face in both regards here, because the monkey's owning his lane, the Quap's owning his lane, and all is well if you're a Jooner.
Indeed, and you know, I gotta be a little bit honest here. I'm trying to keep the bias out of the cast the best that I can, Mott. So if you want to fully shit talk JOONs, I'd understand, because I'm gonna be a little bit biased towards the boys. But yeah, a really, really nice start for them. Still within 1k, but top lane looks like some trouble here for the Luna. 1 or 2 right clicks, all it's going to need for him to go down. Indeed, down he goes, and Faith Kian picks up that kill this time. And the Disruptor, crucially, now out of mana, does have double clarities on him, thankfully, to be able to regain that. So an important kill in this offlane, with this Luna now going to fall quite far behind on these net worth charts.
And something that I think has been noticeable across their games this season is Kian has really struggled on the lanes, and I don't know whether it's kind of honeymoon period or anti-honeymoon period with GDD as the new 4, but he's been really struggling, and he's drastically improved on that this game, which could be a deciding factor on whether or not they feel able to play.
Indeed. Looks like they're trying to do some creep skipping bottom, but meanwhile top, Looks like Faith Kian on the Skunka is now pretty comfortably staying in this lane, but Luna getting a lot of CS off the back of that last one. Looks like a go here, potentially out onto Corey. Corey quite low here on that bristle. The rune is being contested. They throw out the stun from the Monkey King with the follow-up from the silencer. The Brambles are there, but he walks around them perfectly, jukes them out, and down goes Corey again to this pause one monkey. So a creep pulling opportunity doesn't quite work in his favor there, but the co-op could be in some trouble here. Doesn't get hit by that orb in the end there, so does manage to escape. A nice exchange there for JOON squad again.
Yeah, I think you've got to feel bad if you're playing your combined 20k MMR lane and feeling the need to drag waves. You've got to feel like something went wrong in the draft phase here. Your first phase pick was Bristle. You definitely had some like inspiration behind this hero, and it's just not really worked out to plan.
Indeed, and even now they put that distro mid to try to get that level 6. That seems like that might be the way that they get back into this one. But they do have the Dream Coil on Puck. He needs to be a little bit careful here on Solar Crest and recognizing that blinks away straight away. So not able to gain anything there. Mousy does pick up the Wisdom Rune, whereas Reese gets the one on the other side of the map. So a clean 1-to-1 exchange there, at least. A really important XP coming out onto that Dark Willow.
Yeah, and despite the deaths, Bristle's actually done a pretty commendable job of staying neck and neck.
Indeed he is. Diving in now onto Godstrucker's driver. Could be some trouble here though. Gets hit up with all those right clicks, but they have the distro here to stop it. In comes Solar Crest with the scream, and he gets brought back to the mid lane where he's going to happily farm up. Oh no, he's brought back to his own fountain, so not too happy about that. But meanwhile, this distro in some trouble, does have that jump back there from the innate, but in comes Godstrucker's driver with the Q to hopefully make some space to allow this monkey to get this kill. One right click's all it's going to need, but he gets out that big old Q, and Godstrucker's driver now in a bad neighborhood, getting right clicked down by this puck. So it's a 2-for-1, exchanging the 3 and the 5 in exchange for the 5 on the side of JOON squad. And
yeah,
Fake Yami while pressure in this top lane.
Doesn't work out to despair for the side of M&Ms, as Owen is able to pick up some much needed gold on the puck there, keeping himself in parity with the rest of the cores in this game. But all action on the lanes in the early minutes of this game.
Indeed, and Mousy just bullying this Luna in her jungle, not letting her get near that level 5. But despite the lane going quite difficult for her, CS is looking quite admirable with 53 and 4 at this point, doing quite well on Rob Mist. So very, very impressive there. In this bottom lane, it looks like they're still keeping the puck here. They want to get at least a tower exchange with that top tower going down. They want to stick that disruptor mid and get that 6, because as we said, that 6 is all important in getting those puck kills. Without it, you really struggle. But now it looks like Gauzdrunken's driver is in huge trouble here, being chased down by 2 heroes. But the amount of damage he does in that bristle is actually quite huge. And now they have the Wukong's command doing all that damage in onto Reese on this Dark Willow. Dark Willow goes down straight away, and the puck also needs to make like a sheep, get the flock out of there, because he is very low. So I attempt to go in the bot lane, they don't get the tower, and meanwhile they get the deny on it, whereas Faith Kian takes a clean one top, and he's not done yet. Quap is here, he's going to be able to follow that orb from this puck, blink up onto him, manages to just about get away with that Raining Rift, with that advantage in move speed, gets away from the puck. Oh, he sneezes! Achoo!
Yeah, there was nothing there, but it was a good effort, and definitely putting the pressure on. Something I've noticed about JOON's way back is they hate giving away objectives for free. Even if it's just these little towers that you're probably meant to lose at around this time, they will bring the numbers to defend these.
Mousy coming in now, throws at the shards, doesn't quite connect there on this Tusk. He doesn't have the punch yet, gets glimpsed back by this distro. Very low now on Mousy, likely dead, but the disruptor likely to go down in exchange. But both of them staying alive for now, but he throws out those snowballs, and well played by Reese, standing right next to one of those brambles. So the second he gets out, he gets caught. That's that fucking Div1 shit that I like.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, it's Reese Dark Willow, right? Like, he knows this hero better than he knows how to win a single game in the group stage. And it seems like this mid matchup, which was, in my opinion, yeah, close to unplayable, it seems like they both just ruined each other's games. They're both just broke.
Speaking of ruining games, looks like Mr. Solar Crest is in some trouble here and goes down on the Monkey King. Tip out from Corey onto him. Obviously, not too pleased with how that lane went. And with that kill, Corey actually catapults himself into the top of that net worth chart.
Yeah, and despite how even it is, feeling like they're the ones applying the more pressure here on the
Indeed.
side of M&Ms.
Now it's actually Solarcrest who is the bottom of these core network doors. Not by much. He's within about 1 CS of this puck, but not the position we expected coming out of lanes. Now they're making it go into puck. They throw out that torrent. He's going to be hit by the slow thereafter. Gets the leash off with that dream coil. And a nice use there of the fear, but he doesn't manage to pop the banjo string there from that big old coil. Has the run buff coming in, trying to save Faith Kian here, doing what he can, but there's just too much damage on top of him. They lose Sassy, but they're going to lose a Midnighter and potentially lose Solarcrest as well. He has 1 more second to blink. Does he get out? No, he doesn't get hit up with that Lucent Beam. Does manage to get the blink in the last frame there, but might still get hit up by this Whift, and does, but manages to get out in the end. So it's an exchange of your 3 for your 5. A good turn of play there for the side of M&Ms, and a follow-up kill here for Corey onto Mousy. So this Bristle going from big to bigger.
Indeed, and it's the first time I think in a few series, really since the start of the league, where we've seen Corey with some tempo.
Indeed, and we know this guy a really, really strong player. Not the kind of hero you want tempo on, and recognizing that, they make go immediately onto with that Wukong's command, and with that torrent, it looks like he's going to go down in this Bristle. Right. So Caster Curse strikes again. Faith Kian getting a nice clean kill.
I'm not taking responsibility for that one. There was no cursing involved here. Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone thinks of the big dog. I think it's their shins cut off continuously. Tends to be the story of this laning phase.
Yeah, Kunker and Bristle both just incredibly tanky, and think that they're way more tanky than they are.
Look at this right now, though. Could be a go potentially out here onto Godstrucker's driver. He has the glimpse, but it's only level 3, so that's not enough to be able to get a silencer from this range. Needs about 100 more units, so Godstrucker's driver is able to get away from that. They're waiting so long for this fight, they might have the global back up for the next one. Really a big stare down over this mid lane while Catalyst farms the top and the Luna takes that triangle.
Yeah, I would expect to see a bit of a slowdown in tempo from M&Ms as they give Luna the triangle, and Bristle's going to want to take the offensive farm on the map. They are supposedly an incredibly greedy lineup, but it's still seeming like they do want to be the ones to make the aggressive moves on the map.
Side of M&Ms move 3 heroes bottom, try to get a Static Storm catch out on the Quap, but they don't quite connect. Solarcrest reading that one and moving deeper into his own jungle, but on the backswing here, could catch out Godstrucker's driver, and Faith Kian could be in some trouble here, hit up with those big old Brambles, but they don't quite connect to the secondary Brambles. Throws out the follow-up use of the coil as well, so a lot expended here for the Kunkka. He has that Blade Mail ready, uses the Torrent there, doesn't quite connect, but now in comes this Quap, gets a free kill, and the run buff is too much. He stays alive through everything.
They do burn a global for this.
But hang on, meanwhile, jump in from Handyman. It's worth it.
Bye. Okay.
And nice still the Eclipse catches out Catalyst. Catalyst going down, and now Godstrucker's driver, he's going to be next. It ends up being a 3-for-2 exchange in favor of M&Ms at the end of what was a bit of a strange fight.
Yeah, and both of these teams, they're going to do so well in Div2 next season. Just put on absolute stormers there, I think. Cause,
keep them the fuck away from me, man. I don't want to play these teams.
This is exactly what we've become accustomed to seeing in Div2, of just smashing heads against each other until one team comes out ahead. And Luna actually, probably, maybe for the first time this league, Rob Mist finding himself on top of the net worth chart, one of the strongest heroes on the map. Now it's all about what he feels like he can do with it.
Obviously walks in here, but doesn't look too confident in his go. Gets off that snowball to dodge that Cursed Crown, and now they're on to this Bristleback, but they don't have the damage without the Monkey King, without Catalyst here. So they throw out the Torrent, they try to escape here on this Mousy Tusk, but he's walking up towards the rune spot, which means he's likely going to be in some trouble here as he walks straight into Handyman on this puck, who's happy to drop a coil for a free kill.
Yeah, and I think a noticeable... Oh, hang on. The action doesn't stop that easily.
Yeah. A lot of damage coming out here onto this Bristle. Has the follow-up with the Torrent as well. He gets glimpsed back towards him. Might not be what he wants here necessarily. The Bristle is able to walk away from that one in the end.
Yeah, but neither team wants to give up this mid-tier 1 tower at all. This is like some real 2019 Dota, I want to say, when this mid tower was situated way further forward and was just like so important in holding your side of the map, teams would throw everything at defending it, and that's how both of these teams are playing this game. But they are looking now to move on to the side lanes a little bit.
Mid tower still looks like it's going down. One more right click from this catapult, so it's going to need. And meanwhile, it looks like some trouble here for the Bristleback. He's going to be X back, head up with that tower. I think he might be going down here. One or two right clicks, but no, he actually lives because he hits him on the back or on the front of Faith Cab. But Mousie's not done yet. He has the shards ready, he has the punch ready. They have the global silence. It's not enough to kill off this Bristle. He uses the one charge. There's not enough damage. But in the back line, they do take out Handyman and Reese. A double kill for Solar Crest.
Tusk gets glimpsed
back
back
onto the Tusk. Ult dropped onto him as well. But now it's the Bristle who could be in some trouble here. They have the Torrent coming out from this Faith Kian Kunkka. They have the slows coming out from the Silencer. One or two right clicks. All it's going to need to take down Corey. The Eclipse is dropping the Kia's head. But with that blade mail, gets the free kill.
My, oh my, oh my. And this is just exactly how Solar Crest wants to be able to play a fight.
You know, this kind of does look like Div2 now that you mentioned it. Everyone's kind of all over the place. I kind of like this. I fuck with this bit heavy, you know?
No one's going into these team fights knowing who's going to win them. Not a single person. Yeah, just the pure balls to the wall action. Which, I mean, what's a better way to close out the group stage than this?
Indeed, and I gotta say, one winner from that team fight though is this Monkey King, who has now finished up that Battle Fury during that mid kerfuffle and will be ramping up that farm coming down to this game. And on the contrary, that Puck starting to fall quite significantly behind in the network charts.
Yeah, he chased the Silencer at the start of this fight. He was one right click away from getting him before he felt the need to come back and join his team. He needs to be either just deciding that he's going to be focusing down these supports or that he's going to be farming, because going head to head with the likes of the Quap and the Kunkka right now are just not an option for him. But they definitely will be late game. For sure. The M&Ms draft is significantly greedier, but they're not feeling like they have the space to execute it right now.
ED ruined there, stolen by Mousy, not able to pick up with that Puck. Definitely something that he would have liked to have picked up there, especially since he still does not have the blink to speak of. Meanwhile, though, looks like the Disruptor might be setting up for a go on this big ol' Monkey King with both the Dark Willow and the Bristle in tow, but it looks like the Monkey King sniffed that one out and the Bristle's walked away from that engagement. So we're back to this mid lane where the Eternal stare down. Faith Kian, I don't think, has left this mid lane in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to say it. Like, the team that put less heroes mid and more on the side lanes farming is going to win this game. Like, it's a 14-16, less than 1k net worth difference. Both of these teams are just rabid. They want none of it. The creeps are for the woods. It's vegan gaming out here.
Indeed, the one person who seems to be farming this game is also one that's actually falling a little behind, which is this Monkey, and now he's going to be caught out with that Static Storm coming out from Sassy. It does connect, but the Bristleback is quite far away. They're going to have to connect all their spells here if they're going to pull this off. The Global Silence with the follow-up TP in from this Quap to that tower means they do immediately kill off that Disruptor. They have that big old Blade Mail on the Quap as well, doing a lot of damage onto these heroes. They lose Handyman again, and now it looks like Corey's going to go down as well. It's going to be a 4 for 0 in the end. They go and they throw everything onto that Monkey, and they gain nothing and lose everything. All that int as well, going into the back pocket of that Silencer.
Yeah, they have no real way of starting a fight. Like, they caught him, but then it took them a further like 10 seconds to actually close the distance to be able to get their hands on the guy, by which time the Global Silence is dropped, the Quap's TP'd in, and yeah, that's the murder she wrote, really. And I have lost games to JOONs like this before. They put you in a position where you feel your map closing, you feel like their POS1 is farming more than yours, so you feel like you have to make a move onto him with suboptimal vision, and then suddenly you get 4 TPs and 6 ults dumped on 2 supports, and you're just back to square one again, but 500 net worth lower than you were.
Yeah, and with that, Mr. Catalyst moves very close to that Luna in terms of that farm, and it seems like it's going to give them a pretty clean space here to go onto this Tormentor top.
Yeah, the Tormentor kind of been something that I feel like a lot of teams have lost focus on a lot. Teams were very, very good at capitalizing on these earlier on in the patch when it spawned at 15 minutes. But now there's like so much more going on in the map at the 20-minute mark. I think teams struggle a lot more to get it.
Hang on, mid tower was attacked, which means 4 heroes must TP Mr. Maniac. It must be defended. So immediately they get their kill onto the Tormentor and go straight on into the mid. And they
Okay.
that second little sneeze, he's got a bit of a cold here on this big Quap. And GDD ends up being the one that's going down. And now a glimpse back onto Faith Kian, but he walks out of that kinetic field, doesn't quite get the connection with that stun, which means he should be able to get out of this one. Will have the run buff coming in from that big old boat. They throw the Eclipse onto him, but with that Blade Mail, with that run buff, they don't have a Scream to speak of for this fight, which might make a bit of a difference. But Catalyst still has his ult, could make some plays in the back of this fight. Missed there on the Q, which means Faith Kian is going to go down eventually to this puck. A 2-for-0 so far in a successful fight for the side of M&Ms.
A really important kill for young Handyman, keeping himself in this game. He needs to not be falling behind, but we're really starting to see why we don't start to see Luna at all in the current meta, particularly because Blade Mail is the best item in the game, right? And this guy cannot help but deal a lot of damage to everyone in the fight, and therefore to himself. He will not be able to fight until he gets this BKB. It's a 60-40 win probability split. Gaben is a believer that when he does get this BKB, he's going to be able to make it happen. He's got that Axe queued up next on Luna. I do like that.
With that Ags, those team fights, I mean, if you land a really good static storm with that Ags on top of it, looks very scary. But once again, it does kind of open you up to the idea of just build BKB, bro. Which is like, I think something that the Monkey King might take advantage of, having already finished his BKB. Solar Crest looking to get the items before he moves into his.
But Quap will love this. Having all of this magic damage dumped on her with this Blade Mail, the enemy team have not pivoted to be able to deal with her at all. They're going to drop Disruptor ult on her and a Lunar ult on her, and her HP is going to go up. So I do have some concerns about that going into the late game. But concerns are not something we've seen either team have in this game whatsoever.
Been very much a dog-eat-dog kite game, but now this Roshan has spawned, and it seems like the side of M&M are trying to step around it. They do have the minus armor coming up from Bristle, but choosing to walk away from it now, not feeling confident enough in their team fight, which is probably advisable considering both the game this Monkey King is having, as well as the global silence coming out from the silencer. Smoke now comes out from the side of JOONs. They think that there's going to be a fight over this Roche, and they're going to move towards this triangle, where the Luna is farming, could be caught out here. No defensive items to speak of. Oh no, has finished up the BKB now. Got it delivered just after that last fight. So Luna, even if he is caught here, probably just going to be able to walk away, but actually sniffs out that move from JOONs and goes, oh, maybe not. Going down towards that bottom rune, is hit with that scan, throws out those illusions. Faith Kian maybe going to be baited by those, and the smoke play actually turns to nothing and enables young Handyman and Corey to get closer towards their big items.
Yeah, they've smoked up. They've taken control somewhat of this bot part of the map and established some dominance of where the Roche is right now. But unless they step into it right now, it's going to go top in 45 seconds.
Indeed, and catch out there with the trees, but the BKB is popped immediately by this big, scary, young G Monkey King. He has the Yules this time, which means the global is not going to be as effective, but he's still extremely low here on the puck. Could get caught out. Dream Coil is dropped. The right click doesn't come out. One more is all he needed. Gets hit up with that big equip, and a nice snowball save from Mousy. Saves that Monkey King in his spot, allows him to get off the next Q. They kill off both the Luna and this puck, and now it looks like they're going to also lose this Bristleback. 1 or 2 right clicks, all it's going to take. Look at those shards. Mousy playing a Stormer this fight, absolutely saving his team's fight there.
He's still looking.
He's not quite done. He's looking at Reese. Solar Crest takes out Sassy. This could be a team wipe. One more hero. All they need to get. Has the snowball ready to pop it on the high ground. Hits up immediately onto Reese. Shards here to follow. Walks away because he recognizes, okay, this guy can't just kind of, one give me. But with that nice use of the tidal wave there from Faith Kian, actually stops him doing something. Almost loses himself. Kian! Kian, that's 800 gold!
Kian says, get away from my tusk!
Oh, man. I love Mousy too, man, but that's too much.
Take me instead.
Oh, bro. JOONs just play the most fucking no man left behind bullshit so often, and I understood the play there, but it's still a 5-for-1, right? Still a really successful fight for the JOONs. But without him to hit this Roche, it probably goes down a little slower.
They play no man left behind, which I think is why a sociopath like Solar Crest is so perfect. for this team because he'll leave them behind in a heartbeat. He would sacrifice
Absolutely.
every life on his team for +5 MMR. Like there's there is no doubt in his mind about that, which is why I think he's been such an asset to this team and continuing to be an asset in this game as they've not itemized to deal with him at all on the side of M&Ms, and he is continuing to just have a stormer. His net worth's not even insane. He's just uncontestable.
I love Mr. Crest, but I'm willing to say that if you offered him a Pokemon card of value anything above €100, he'd give up his friendship with me in a day. And that's about how much I value my friendship at anyway. So it's a decent decision. Whereas Faith, yeah, that boy. Oh, nice. Sorry, I thought there was a rune steal there for a second. I'm stupid. Does manage to bottle up that arcane there on the Quap.
Well, if you ever get tired of that friendship, you can just buy him that Pokemon card yourself.
I should maybe. But hey, that guy, he's done a lot for me. He allowed me to puke on his floor in his very pretty house. So,
Did he
blood is
allow?
thicker than water. He was very considerate what I did, is the least I can say, Moth. There's a level of degrees here. Other people, could have been dicks about it. He was very cool about it. He just went, you fucking chanda, mate. It was all good. Like, we were totally fine afterwards. And I was like, you gotta respect that in a friend.
He's done plenty of role-playing as you in this game then, with vomiting the ults on the ground. I do think he's probably net even with his ults in this game. He's either hit not a single hero or 3. So he's safe for now, but gonna have to be hitting those a bit more in the later game team fights, as they're kind of slowing down a bit with this Aegis. Luna's still firmly on top of this net worth, but it's not felt like we've felt this hero's impact yet.
Yeah, and it seems like this Luna's building into this Aghanims, and I'm less scared of the impact this Aghanim's going to have compared, let's say, to the Catalyst Scotty that's coming up. And they have spotted out this Luna. The smoke breaks onto the Quap. He's hit up immediately with that big old punch. He's even the BKB. He might not live here. As the teleport, one more right click's all it's going to take. They don't hold the polar punch, and it still manages to go down. The long TP, Mousy manages to finish him off, and Sassy goes down as well. Drops the disruptor ult, but for nothing. And now they're not done yet. They're going in onto Reese. Curse Crown up on Mr. Crest, but he does have that blade now. Look at him healing from all that damage coming out from the Dark Willow. Not a care in the world here from Mr. Crest. Beyond godlike, 3-for-0 in this fight, and now a 7k lead for the JOON squad.
You know why that was a long TP?
Explain, sir.
He BKB TP'd to his own outpost that was right next to him.
Oh, fuck me, man.
So they could have just let that one go, honestly. He would have ended up a meter to the left. So yeah, unfortunate they're not managing to remain calm in the heat of battle, and the net worth lead that he's been holding on to is kind of dwindling before his eyes. And we said that this is like some 5-on-5 good team fight Dota, and they were all for that in the first 10 minutes, but it's not felt like M&Ms have been able to scramble together a cohesive 5-on-5 fight since then.
Yeah, I gotta point out one thing here that I'm not a huge fan of either. It's always hard to play Disruptor from behind, right? It's a hero where you want to have a good start because a lot of your farm potential does come off those early kills. He's looking to build into the Lotus Orb here, which is one, an item he's not going to get for a very long time, and two, just not a Blink or an Ags, which with those BKBs and with a Quap in the game, I don't know if this Lotus Orb is worth it this game. What do you think?
Yeah, they're just... I can understand the vision of trying to take a long fight, but these fights aren't long regardless.
Yeah, trouble here for the puck. They do have that little silence coming out of this spot, but nice escape there from Owen. Gets himself out of this fight. They have the Orchid finished up on the Kunkka, so every go here... Oh no, he changed items, so I went for the pipe instead in the end there. Is able to escape there on the puck, is able to disjoint this fight, and now this mid-tier 2 looks like it's going to go down quite quickly.
Yeah, and I'd kind of like to highlight, I think, something that has been pretty implicative of an issue, but I will probably have to wait because they are actually going to mount a defense here. But they are out-auraed because this Bristleback is very focused on his own game, so we're going to have to see if he's able to turn that into him doing some pretty big stuff this fight.
The deep shards come out from that Tusk, catching Sassy, catching out this Corey Bristle in its place. Out comes that ult with the Aghanims coming out from that Luna, but it's not doing enough damage. Indeed, it's only doing damage to himself. And they also lose the Disruptor. They do take out that first life on the quad, but now with the Polar Punch ready, instead looks like Mr. Diddles, who might be in some trouble, does manage to just about scrape his way out of that fight. But it's a 3 versus 5 now. Is this a fight they want to take even with JOONs being this low?
They're so close, but they're just not able to keep Bristleback alive. It looks maybe like they want to chase, but...
Yeah, jump in here from the Tusk, goes immediately onto that Dark Willow, follow up with the Q, doesn't quite connect there from that big, scary Monkey King, but it's still going to be the Tidal Wave coming out from the Kunkka straight onto this Dark Willow, who's going to go down, so another kill going inside JOONs. Now a 12k net worth lead, and not done yet. Solarcrest making his presence known in the enemy base.
Yeah, it's as I was kind of alluding to, a problem that I think M&Ms have had in a lot of their games. They feel the need that Corey and Reese have to carry these games, right? Like I said earlier in the draft, it's like a 2v5 thing for them, and as a result, I think they're kind of building quite selfishly. The Corey especially is like very focused on his own impact and what he's able to do in a fight independently, whereas Kian, he had a similar performance on lane. He was top net worth for a good chunk of this game. He took his tower early, but he's transitioned that into auras, and it's so apparent. Okay, BKB there. It's so apparent in these team fights.
A bit of an early BKB there from this Monkey King. BKB also finished. Hang on, Eclipse has popped in this top lane onto nothing but clean air. And the Force Staff is ready from GDD, but he actually pops his TP instead and manages to evade all of this. The puck get him, and the last time he manages to get him just about with that Yule Scepter, and GDD Force Staff's the wrong way, so it's going to go down. But Kian, it looks like they want to make a fight out of this one. There's a lot of heroes grouped up here. A big Quap Scream could be coming out. Even just the use of that Q with that big use of that Tidebreaker is enough to take out 2 heroes, and now Corey forced to turn tail and run right before he starts building into that BKB as well. Going to push it even further back, and that's the Bristle down. It's a 3-for-1. They lose God's Drunkest Driver, but they take a great team fight where your Monkey doesn't even have BKB, and now they're not done yet. Owen's in trouble. 2 right clicks, all it's going to take down Handyman on this puck.
Yeah, the Tusk is pretty rapidly closing in on the puck's net worth here. He's charging down the causeway after this puck towards his net worth, and he's gaining at a scary rate.
Indeed, this tower will be absolute mincemeat in the hands of the JOONs. 20 seconds until that Bristle backs up. A whopping 40 seconds till that puck is back up. No Roche to speak of for now, so at least they might be safe in that regards. But JOONs might just keep pushing this into the base.
Yeah. They're not the strongest on tower hit, but they're also definitely not the weakest. The Roche is going to spawn in just 20 seconds, so there's nothing really stopping them from just taking it easy and waiting to get that. The only easy net worth on the map are the creeps in M&M's base and the and whatever the Manta illusions can get for the Luna.
A cool pickup here from the Tusk, actually. The Tusk going for an early BKB this game into that Disruptor, recognizing the fact that Disruptor's not going for an Ags, builds one himself, so whoever gets caught in that Static Storm is going to have a BKB Tusk getting those snowball saves. Really heads up itemization there.
Yeah, so simple, so effective. It's really, it's the dream for Tusk, being able to get this Blink BKB before the Disruptor's able to get anything to deal with it. It's the dream.
They're going again out onto Corey, hit up with that disarm, with that tidal wave, manages to get Force Staff just in time, so he's safe for now, but Solarcrest taking a lot of damage here on the Quap, does pop off that big ultimate, and look at the heals, and look at the amount of damage that Faith Kian's able to do immediately onto Corey, and they take out Sassy before this fight's even started. Now, they pop off that Luna ult, but it's doing no damage. They both have BKBs. It's basically tickling them here, so now we see a big Monkey ult coming out, but it ends up being pushed out of it by the tidal wave, unfortunately. Corey, very, very low, not quite able to finish my Monkey here, misses that Q, but manages to jump him closer to this Bristle. Can they take them out? He has the distro with him, pops the BKB here, tries to make his way out of this fight. Mousy in the backlines, meanwhile, is killing off Reese. They throw out the coil onto the Monkey King. He's getting hit up with a lot of stacks in this goo, but in comes Mr. Crest with a huge Queen of Pain use of equip, and then a follow up with a Global Silence. Out comes the Q from Catalyst, takes out Mist. And a
Oi, oi,
nice
oi.
little sassy scream at the end of that as well, with the Sonic Wave getting another kill for the squad. 14-0 on Mr. Crest.
I mean, it's so apparent, right? Like everyone in these team fights, even though there's a 20k net worth advantage, everyone is fighting for their lives, like hammering the BKB, diving, juking in and out. Oh shit, kite the hero, and then Quap's just full HP, full mana, like just untouched. But we're seeing some touching. He's getting touched.
Mr. Crest, right as we say 14-0, his bagel falls onto the floor. It's covered in ants. It's got dirt on the front. There he goes.
Bugger. That high ground's nasty. Serious damage. Yeah.
That's an excellent English accent you're doing there. I've never heard one quite that good in all my time.
English criminal? Yes. Yeah, natural accent. Okay, well, I mean, a brief reprieve here. I don't think Junes are going to feel like, oh shit, they're going to come back. I don't think they're going to be panicking too much off of this one. Solar Crest might still be stumbling over some excuse as to how he died there, but beyond that, I think they're probably just going to feel like they can respawn and head straight into the Roche. If M&Ms want to make a play for it, it has to be now. It has to be 15 seconds ago, really. But it looks like
very
they're
big
interested.
items. Yeah, 300 gold off the Daedalus on this Monkey King, and then also Faith Kian has just picked up the Hex. Hex completed on this Kunkka, which could be problematic in this fight. They go immediately onto the Roche. 15 seconds to Mr. Crest is back, and they have a lot of things to slow this team fight down. But with those goo stacks, oh, but hang on, in comes the boat with that big old tower. They've almost killed off Corey already, and Corey's just dead. He lives just about, but the tidal wave is able to take him out. That Bristle is dead, and now Mousy catching more heroes with these Tusk Shards. This game, Mousy has been playing his absolute little socks off on this Tusk. 3 kills, Catalyst picking up 2 of them, and the Roche secured.
It's just in this, it's a case of like, yeah, Solar Crest is playing great, right? Like clearly Solar Crest is playing well. Catalyst is playing well. These are like very, I think, generally appreciated players, quite applauded players, and they're playing as well as you would hope that they would play from ahead, and they've done well this game. Mousy, I think, gets a lot less appreciation and a lot less respect, and he's turned it up to an equally high level, going toe-to-toe here. And yeah, he's doing so much work in these team fights with this early shard pickup.
Gotta say, arguably his best performance, definitely of this tournament, or even in any games I've seen him play in the last little while. So definitely a big smile on his face. The mold in his mica schist Donegal house is smiling upon him this evening. It's given him the superpowers.
Giving him the superpowers, yeah.
Yeah.
He can finally see colors.
Yeah, what kind of superpower would Black Mold give you? The ability to strangle children in their sleep, I suppose, which is exactly what he's doing here. So it's quite fitting.
It does seem to be what he's doing. They're not putting up any more of a fight than that, and this child's getting strangled as we speak.
Indeed, a lot of damage coming out here onto this Monkey King, but the follow-ups are there. They throw out that Luna ult, but once again, it's kind of...
Luna ult.
It is doing a lot of damage onto the Monkey King, but he is going to be fine here. Gets out, does manage to pop that BKB, but the Scream of Pain is here, but doesn't do a whole lot that fight. Gets the Yules onto Reese, so nice start to this fight, honestly, so far for M&Ms, but they might just use this advantage, just take this tower here, because this fight is looking worse and worse as time goes on, as big old Corey is coming into it as well. Pops the Banjo string there in Mousy. They do take out that range Rax, but I think that might be all they have to write. Oh no, never mind. Catalyst here one-shots Reese, sends him into the fucking Shadow Realm. Down he goes. The Luna is still up. This Bristle is still up. They're going to start hammering in onto these racks. They drop the Static Storm, but the Puddle is ignored this time, and the Hex is out onto the Bristleback. He's taking a lot of damage from this Monkey King. The Q is enough to pop him down, so down goes Corey again.
Every Boundless Strike is a kill. It's and it's ticking.
And no buyback on Corey to speak of. He didn't use Save the Gold. He bought out before that fight, so you're not going to have a Bristle for the next 60 seconds.
We'll see how much discipline they want to play with here, but discipline is not something that either of these teams have been particularly known for in this series or in this season.
Monkey King now hammering in onto these racks, very close to that 25 to get that additional Wukong's ring as well. So these team fights Going to start looking even more difficult. Faith Kian not too far off either with the spell, Yoey. Go in now onto Reese. Again, he just pops Sonic Wave onto Reese in his own. A lot of hatred here between these two players, it seems like. But meanwhile, they are able to take out Sassy on this Disruptor. So Disruptor dead does have no buyback either. He used it previously, so he will not be coming back into this fight when this Bristle is. Jumping now from Handyman. God, it'd be nice to have a Disruptor right now, but instead he just hexed up immediately by Faith Kian. And he's on trouble. And the Blade Mail pops down the Luna. Maybe we don't see this hero for a reason. And they lose him once again. And now GG is called by M&Ms. The Junes pick up their first win of the season.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, not a bad showing from either teams at the start of this. I think they did equally well out of lanes. Definitely like a good toe-to-toe matchup in the lanes here. But I think that's a good thing for Junes. If Junes are going toe-to-toe with M&Ms in lane, that's a really bad sign for M&Ms. And then M&Ms are kind of they're investing their net worth into this Bristleback trying to 1v9 the game like it's a pub, and this Puck buying like 9 defensive items because he's too scared to play against this silencer. So they need to find out what they're going to do in the middle of the games if they're going to be continuing buying these items.
It felt like to a certain extent, I think you're right in what you said, in that from about the 20-minute mark onwards, it felt like M&M were playing June's games. Like when they were separated, when Junes were sitting around that mid tower, they were out farming them significantly. But once they started essentially forcing M&Ms into making those bad rotations, I'm thinking specifically about the quad death on the bot lane next to that tower, June's really got a handle on this game and just showed their cohesion and experience as a squad, and were able to take this game. I feel like if M&Ms just kept their cool, played their positions, avoided fights, and farmed a bit more potentially different items in the Luna, this game could have looked quite different.
Yeah, and they just, that's how Junes win games, is they get into your head a little bit, they make you feel like you have to make these moves, and then they punish you for it by just rotating every hero. They play a small area of the map, but if you break that small area, they're going to break you.
Absolutely, and break them they did, with the Junes taking their first win of the season. We'll be with you in just a few minutes for our game 2 of this series. Both of these teams yet to win a series. We're going to find out if it's going to be a draw or if Junes can pull out their first series win of the tournament and secure themselves this position for space. We'll see you soon.
Come on.
Bad things happen to good people. None of us were ever really born equal. Only one life, there ain't no sequel. Some people live life so fearful. This world ain't never been peaceful. You got good, always butting heads against evil. The good try to be fair, but the bad lethal. They gon' fight dirty, every single one deceitful. Stand up, I wanna see your face. Get your chin up like you belong in this place. We gon' train like you've never trained before. You're going up against something that you can't ignore. This ain't a game, this your life that we're playing with. There ain't no reset button or an off switch. You gotta face your fears, you gotta scratch the itch. You gotta break through the walls and get after it. Only time will tell who's gonna make it. I promise you, I'ma be the one who's gonna take it. I fight, I provide, leaving blood on the pavement. If you're up against me, then you better be praying, cause I'll keep punching till my knuckles start breaking. I'll keep going through the blood that I'm tasting. I won't stop till they've all seen greatness. The battle for my world just started, I've been waiting. Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, no there ain't no one else. Pick a side or by yourself. I got this, there ain't no going back. Leave it all on the battlefield, push the attack. You can't stop me, I'm obsessive. A lot of people think that I come off aggressive, but I'm just passionate. Why aren't you? Ain't nobody care if you got nothing to lose. You gotta put yourself on the line, make moves. Otherwise you'll be a sheep with the lies watching you. Only time will tell who's gonna make it. I promise you, I'ma be the one who's gonna take it. I fight, I provide, leaving blood on the pavement. If you're up against me, then you better be praying, cause I'll keep punching till my knuckles start breaking. I'll keep going through the blood that I'm tasting. I won't stop till they've all seen greatness. The battle for my world just started, I've been waiting. Today is the day, don't waste any time, know it's time to make a change. Up in your mind, rearrange, start thinking you're the hero headed out on your way. There's gonna be good times and bad times, that's alright, just stay on the line. Cause in life we all got a different mission, but the good guy always wins, that's a given. If you stay committed, you stay driven, you'll be looking down the barrel of completing your mission. Ignition, light the flame, get the fire in you, listen, take these words deep, cause this is real, ain't no fiction. You don't need drugs, help any prescription, just persistence and energy can win any competition. So keep fighting, facing any opposition, and be the hero in a story you yourself have written. Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, no there ain't no one else, pick a side by yourself. You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're driven.
There's no way that you make it, and maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fucking fight back. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just fake it. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south. Never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it, and maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fucking fight back. in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between, after what was being an incredibly difficult season for the JOON squad, they have just secured their first game victory of the season against the side of M&Ms, who are hungry to pull this into a 1-1 and get their first win of the season also. This game will be the decider for position 4 in the Irish Joe League group stage. Loser of this game facing off into Wong's Bakery in round 1. Not a favorable position at all. Let's get into this one. I'm Runatao, taking you through this one with Big O. Beautiful, gorgeous, sexy, amazing E-Clown in my co-caster seat. How are you doing, E-Clown?
I mean, I can't be happier. I saw a glowing Tusk performance in game 1. That's all I ever hope for. Which has sadly been banned this game, as has the Quap. So now we get to see if JOON Squad are able to do something else that they've not been able to do for the rest of the season, which is adapt after they've had their heroes banned. Because so far they haven't had any heroes, but here they are with a Stormer performance, and now they're going to have to adapt. So we'll see where it goes from here.
The Shadow Shaman gets banned in the first round of picks. The Undying is still available in that pool. As we said last game, it was actually something that made it through every single ban and pick, perhaps the first time this tournament. And they immediately pick the Monkey King. Now, I know they play it on 3 positions. They play it on Diddles. They play it on Solar Crest. They play it on Catalyst. But this still feels like a very brave pick 1, right, Moth?
Yeah, I'm getting similar vibes from this as I got from the Bristle previously by M&Ms. It's good because it's flex, but it's not insane. It's not an insanely meta hero. It's just good because it's flex. M&Ms have answered it with something of a similar ilk, I suppose, which is also a good flex, but not an amazing hero. It is, however, good against the Monkey King. So they've gone tick for tack here.
Yeah, and what's nice about Razor is that it does match that flex, right? So if you do choose to put that monkey into your safe lane or into your mid, Razor can really hold his own in either of those lanes and give Monkey a really difficult time. So it's going to really be on the JOON squad to match a support to that monkey that can make it not get ran over by this Razor in the laning stage. And again, I know I've been harping on about it, but I'm seeing some really meta supports here that are going unused. The Undying is still there. It is something that stops the Razor. It gets rid of his strength. It stops him being able to run them down. It does get its Tombstone killed by it, but it still feels pretty good here, right?
Yeah, I think if Razor has to stop and hit a Tombstone, he's pretty upset. Like, he doesn't want to steal 150 damage from someone and then have to click it on a building that just takes hits to kill. So it's definitely somewhat of a surprise that we have yet to see it in this series. I do think these opening picks, they set up for the drafts themselves to be quite interesting, because now both teams kind of have to play a game of chicken here, where they hold out as many core picks as possible until late on, so as to reveal as little about where these heroes are going to go, so they can try and guarantee as good a lane matchup as possible.
Something that does make it through the bans this time, though, that I do want to point out, a core that might take early is the Axe has made it through the bans this time. It's a hero the core really likes. He's really good on. And the Ogre Magi for Sassy is the next pickup for M&Ms.
Like, in what scenario are you picking Ogre over Undying?
It's a weird
I'm
one,
sorry
right?
to be a broken record. I apologize, but I mean, I guess the scenario in which you want to play Ogre Magi. That's the scenario, right? Where you just want to be the two-headed guy and buy a Midas and have a learning curve, which Sassy might have.
Yeah, might have a learning curve indeed. The follow-up pick from JOON Squad is a hero that really kites that razor. It's the Dark Willow. Likely going to be seeing Mr. Diddles back into 4 on that, I would think.
Mousy has played this in the past, but a very long time ago. I don't think I've seen him play this hero recently at all. And again, it's a pretty safe hero to pick at this stage, where yeah, it'll no matter what you pick after this, you don't have to be too worried about like, oh, we need to pick a stun, we need to pick some damage, because Willow will do bits of this for you.
Yeah, in terms of that follow-up support as well here, we could see that Silencer come out once again. It's a nice hero. I'm just thinking things that give you gap close against that Razor that enables that Monkey to get away from him. Any other slows come to mind for you? Maybe like a Venom or something? We see the pick. It is the Clockwork, the Mousy Clock.
Yep, definitely. Like, oh, they banned Tusk. What's what does the exact same job? But I mean, debatably better in this game. He's still got the BKB cancelling ult. He's still got the good control, but a bit less all in committal here.
Yeah, I really like this Clockwork pickup here, especially against a very mana-reliant hero like Ogre Magi, being able to burn it away with those cogs, if that is where he ends up going. But I do think with this Clock pick, they are going to put this Dark Willow back onto the 4 and move Diddles back to that offlane.
Yes, and I would be I would be concerned about this impact that this has on Kian, because he had a very nice lane in the last game with Mousy Tusk on form, and so I'd be worried about him kind of not getting to build chemistry with either of these. But these guys do play together all the time. I'm sure there's good chemistry between all of them. It would feel a shame to immediately break off what was been the only thing that's worked for them, right?
I will say playing together for a long time does not mean good chemistry. Trust me, I know these fucks better than anyone. In fact, playing together might reduce their chemistry, how these guys play, but we'll have to wait and see. The next two pickups for M&M, Wind Ranger, it's Reese's most played hero of the patch. It's his most played hero of the tournament. It's not surprising to see him pick it up here. It has the opportunity to get those assassinate kills out onto the Monkey when he's low, trying to get those Jingo stacks. But a less, or a more surprising hero to me is this Lycan pickup here. Talk me through that.
I would suggest and assume that this is going to be the Corey hero, and that we're just seeing more of the same here of just like, guys, we need to carry the game. We need to. Mist is useless, please. So let's give Mist a hero that will have impact with just a BKB. Fuck the Luna that can farm the entire map and have 10 items. Give him a hero that will have impact with no items. And we're just going to play to take every tower, take every kill, and try and end this goddamn game and try and get us a win on the board, please. So that's what I assume the Lycan is for.
Next pick of JOON Squad is the Darkseer, which means we actually might see Mousy staying in that 4 position. You don't want to lane a Darkseer with a Dark Willow, so it seems like Diddles is going to stay in that 5, and Mousy's going to go back into that off lane. The Clockwork Darkseer, a really nice lane combo, especially into a Wind Ranger.
Indeed, I don't think the Darkseer is actually particularly that. Like, I don't think this was a response to the Lycan by any means. I actually don't think this is a direct counter to any of them. This is just like a Kian. Surge is really nice this game, that's one thing, but this is just like a Kian, give me this hero and I'll own this game sort of thing. He's not, I don't think he feels like there's an illusion here that he can win the game with. He just wants to get some auras and be this team fight presence that he was last game.
What's more, it does kind of combo well with that Monkey King. Being able to vacuum people into those queues if they do have that level of execution is huge. And the Quap is still on the table for Solar Crest if he wants to take it again. Oh no, Quap got taken out first. So we have to look at what Solar Crest is going to go for. Wouldn't be surprised to see him potentially take on... I mean, the Bat Rider's still there if he wants to pull it out of his back pocket. The Void Spirit's still there. The Death Prophet could be really good this game.
Death Prophet.
They banned it themselves, never mind.
Yeah, they self-banned it. It's a hero that kind of fell off a lot since the nerf to its Ags, but I think did fall off more than it needed to. But June Squad are just as scared of it.
Yeah, it would have been a bit difficult with those strength cores. What else could we see this mid Mr. Solarcrest on? He could pick up the mid Timber Saw here, actually. We're looking into 2 strength cores right now. It is something he's done before.
It
could
is something he's
potentially-
done before. I am afraid that he's just gonna pick this godforsaken sniper again, which never does anything, but he adores it with like all of his heart. He adores it, and kind of plays it into any matchup. And it's not terrible this game. It only really struggles with the Lycan and the Wind if she gets a lot of farm. But I don't think he really cares about a support Wind. So I could see him kind of panic defaulting to this sniper.
Yeah, I could see it. We wouldn't love to see it here, though. It hasn't had much success from this league. He
It's
might
not.
be against it on that basis. I mean, the alternative is what here for him? Maybe the voice bit. The Morphling comes out, so Young G is going to be in the Morphling. It's going to be a mid monkey. We mentioned before they do flex it between those positions.
It's not Young G, it's Catalyst, who I think is a lot worse at Morphling than Young G was. But
Oh, my
I
apologies.
I hope to stand corrected or sit corrected. Definitely a feast or famine hero. Not one that we've seen much success out of in this league at all this season, I don't think. I am actually not sure if it's been picked. I'll have to check the imprint scores in the downtime. But
Yeah.
they feel as strong. It's definitely good against the Razor. It loves morphing into Razor and Wind. I'm just a little bit worried about it getting templed by this Lycan. But if it survives to like the 35-minute state, then Morphling's grand.
M&M's now facing into their last pick. It's most likely going to be that mid pick for Owen. The puck is not in the pool. Other things like explained, the Quap is not in the pool. The Death Pop is not in the pool. The famous handyman Tiny, I don't think he's feeling very confident after game 1. So I'd be surprised if we see that coming out here, Moth. But there's very few things that he enjoys that are still left here. And he picks up the Bat Rider for himself.
Interesting. Not something that I've seen a lot of him play, and we've played a fair few games together, but it is like I think it plays very well into his play style. I think it's something that he will be able to adapt to very easily. So there might be some rust to shake off in the lane here, which is where I could expect to see him fall behind. But I think if he makes it into the mid game of this, he'll be like perfectly competent.
How do you rate their chances versus the draft of last game?
It's very, very different style, right? Like they're all kind of trying to win the game on a 2-item timing, whereas JOON Squad this time are kind of the bit more greedy ones. But I do think this game reaches a point if Faith Kian is able to again get all of these auras and Corey's going to itemize more for himself, it'll just end up at a point where they can no longer fight, and JOON Squad might be able to clutch it out. So I'm still going to have to give the edge to JOON Squad here.
We're gonna see if they are able to pull this one out. Mousy and Faith Kian, I'm worried about this safe lane for the side of M&Ms. I feel like they're putting a bit of emphasis away from Mist, and I feel like they're not going to rotate people to save him. And I think that Faith Kian, if he's able to get these auras up quite early, that could really nullify the effect that this Bat Rider is going to have. You know, if you get that early pipe online and you get that early Blamer online and something like a Darkseer, it's going to make Bat Rider's life a lot more difficult. But as you said, if he does get a good solid start on this Bat, especially for a hero like Morphling, getting lassoed is not something that you want to happen.
And Morphling has been picked one time in the season of this league, and it has not won a single game. So hopefully Catalyst is the man to break that trend as we head into this game 2.
Okay, folks, a reminder, this is game 2 of the JOON Squad taking on M&Ms, the English versus the Irish. We love to see it. Game 1 went quite firmly the way of the JOON Squad, taking a lead in the 20 minutes and not relinquishing it thereafter. And this is the decider game of Division 1 of the Irish Dota League. Winner of this game faces off, I believe, into the side of Mosey's Fiercest Warriors, and the loser will face Wong's Bakery. Not a pleasant matchup based on previous games. Not one you want to have. I'd probably rather have that Mosey squad. Here goes, guys. What's it like to win a game? My dog has picked his dog hero. They're keeping their spirits up, at least the side of M&Ms, right?
Yeah, we'll see if it's kind of a bit of Keck society and they're just hiding behind the mask, but really they've put together a decent team and not won a single game in this league. But nah, these guys are all, for the most part, pretty good friends, and I think they're just here for the fun, and they have been fun across the entire league. So
I'm just envisioning that sad clown photo of Blinks, you know? It's like, aha, this is so funny, isn't it, guys?
How did it feel to win a game, guys?
Oh.
Owen's kicks after this series.
I mean, you know, I hear that kicking Irish mid laners after your first series works quite well. Shout out to Punjabi Dota. Let's get into the start of this game. Seems like both teams is going to go for a nice chill bounty exchange to kick this one off, Muff. No 3 deaths for Junes in the first 30 seconds like last game.
No 3 deaths, and we'll see if there's going to be a 15-minute standoff around the mid tier 1s, which I think just put the last game into such a coin flip. It was just like whoever came out on top of these half a dozen dives just kind of ran away with the game because no one else was farming in this time. So whoever got the small advantage from that was kind of able to transition that into a way bigger one. So hopefully we won't see anything quite as incidental as that.
Bottom lane, seems like some early pressure is being put out by this Dark Bro, throwing out those Brambles straight away, but not quite connecting with the heroes it needs to. And interesting enough, they actually do still move Mr. Diddles to this 4 position, and they're not going to put the clock with the Darkseer.
I think is, again, just somewhat of a net worth thing. I think Willow wants the items more, but clock might not have died there.
Yeah, first death comes out onto GDD. Mr. Diddles goes down, and Faith Kian being walked all the way back to this tower by the Ogre Magi without spells. This probably shouldn't be happening at the start of your lane. Looks like they're going to try to punish it somewhat, but so far, laning stage going very well for the side of M&Ms. Only 1 last on this Morphling to speak of.
They're getting learning curved.
Indeed they are, and that's before he even gets the levels. The only lane going well so far is this mid lane.
Which I believe is meant to be monkey favored until about the level 2 mark,
No.
at which point it gets gradually harder and harder. But as we said, this is where Solar Crest has excelled. He played a losing matchup last time and did very, very well and dominated the game. And it's where we expect to see Young Handyman struggle somewhat, as this isn't one of his signature heroes by any means.
Indeed, so far holding his own fairly decent. He's 5-2. The Monkey is 9-4 comparatively, but comparing that to the fact that both June's cores had 1 lasted until a second ago, it's not too bad. Now trying to do as much damage as they can on this Willow out onto this Ogre Magi. Throws out this big old plasma field there. Doesn't quite connect on anyone there coming out from this just, this Mist Razor. Doing what he can, though, staying very far ahead in the CS, and Corey having an absolute stormer to the start of this game, 14-4 on this Lycan.
Yeah, and this is a little bit of a go out onto
Some
Ogre.
trouble here.
He has
has the shell on him, but it's a level 1 shell, and now instead it looks like his Godstruck driver is in some trouble with that learning curve. All that damage is ready to go with the plasma field as well. He might go down here, pops the wand, but it's not enough. Down he goes. Second death in fast succession there for Mr. GDD.
They're doing well in lanes. I said this at the end of the last game, where I think if you're going even in the lanes versus Junes, you probably feel like something has gone wrong inherently. So they've got to be
going wrong,
a lot happier here.
Faithkian almost dies there. He walks back towards him. He goes down to the Ignite. The Ignite's enough to take him down. This safe lane, it's a very different story to the previous game.
This Ogre's doing bits, and yeah, Sassy onto one of his best starts that we've seen, probably his best start that we've seen, and a sadistic part of me kind of has to root. That's 8 stacks.
Hang on, trouble here. That's 10 stacks now
trouble.
on this Monkey. He's probably dead here on Solar Crest. Right click as best he can, but it's not enough. They bring in Mr. Diddles, but Solar Crest goes down. It's 4-0 to start this game off. And it's a
Yeah.
very nice start here for the M&Ms.
That is a lot of stacks to let build up. I don't know how he thought he was going to outplay his way out of that one. Reese tips young handyman. Presumably, there was probably a bit of dialogue in the draft of like, "Oh, I can play it. I don't really play it, but I can." And they were just like, "Oh bloody hell, mate! Yeah, we'll pick it for you. Do your best." And he's gone and got a kill on his lane, 1v1. So they're going to be happy with their boy.
Nice start so far for the side of M&M's. JOON's in a bit of trouble here. Their Darkseer in particular are only 9 and 2 on a hero that's supposed to have very stable lanes and forced to go into the jungle now in this Darkseer.
A twisted part of you has got to be, you've got to root for the M&Ms draft a little bit in this one. I feel just because, come on, they've got an ogre, they've got a Lycan completely unpicked so far in the tournament. It's gross, but I think it's fun. You know, they're new heroes. We like to see new heroes.
Very deep here from Sassy. Could be his undoing here. They do have the leash out in Faith Kian, though, and he decides he does not want that smoke in this instance, so use the Surge from away. And now we've got level 3 with that Surge up. The Darkseer shouldn't be going down again, but a lot of damage still coming off that Plasma Field. Meanwhile, in this top lane, looks like it's been pretty solid so far for Catalyst and this Mousy hero, but in some trouble here, being ran down by the Lycan. Throws out that waveform, but for what? Does basically no damage onto this Lycan, who's basically had a free game so far, 33 and 9.
Yes, and we have seen this before from Corey, and his most dominant performance, I think, has been on Zoo.
From the Razor out onto this Dark Willow, could potentially make a go here, decides in the end not to do so. Sorry, please continue. My apologies.
His most dominant performance so far. Nah, they're gonna keep going. Fuck it.
Yeah,
It's a boring story anyway.
Not a second free here this game. Looks like they're still gonna take out GDD. Are they able to take down this Razor in exchange? It doesn't look like it. He does get the Jingu stacks up, but he's forced to walk away because Faith Kian's not even in the lane right now. They're exchanging the lanes mid for bottom.
Batrider is just able to do as he pleases, and the faster this guy gets towards that max level on Napalm, and he's just going to be able to terrorize the maps. I mean, this hero is disgusting. This hero is absolutely ridiculous, and it made it through the draft twice now, and we might start to see why it shouldn't.
Double here from Mousy, hit with the blood grenade. Right clicks coming out.
Power
He is
shot.
able to walk over this one, but the power shot does connect, and he takes out Mousy on Reese. It's 6-0 in favor of the M&Ms.
Yeah, so strong out of the gate here. Which, don't get me wrong, they did have to. If they lost lanes with these guys, they probably just lose quite quickly.
The Sassy tries to make a play on this Ogre onto this Wisdom Rune, but they have 3 heroes here. They're ready to secure that rune, and a really important one for them to do so. And they are able to pick it up there onto God's Drunkest Driver. Faith Kian probably wishing that he got it there, though, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. He in fact might have gotten the second one just from being lowest level. Yeah, he's having a tough time.
Yeah, a real exchange in stories this game. All 3 of the cores on the side of M&Ms topping these net worth charts. Mousy walking in towards that Batrider, but very little he can do. Batrider now with the haste and that lasso. They need to be extremely careful how they play around him. Meanwhile, ooh, very close there. Reese almost snipes out Catalyst on this Morphling, who is doing pretty decently considering he's basically being 1v2 for most of this lane with an assassinate chance on him. Keeping up decently on this net worth.
Yeah, he's taking what he can get. They don't really have the lockdown to actually do anything to him. They don't threaten him past this Wind Ranger just like throwing out max channel power shots at him.
Make it go now out onto this Batrider. They have the right clicks onto him, but he's too quick. They're not going to catch him without a hook shot. Now, enough stacks built up on Solar Crest where they're no longer willing to go. And meanwhile, top lane, in comes the Lycan with the ulti and the use of that portal by the Ogre Magi. They are able to take out Catalyst.
Yeah, did I see that correctly? No, I didn't. I was worried the Wind Ranger was level 6 already. That would be disastrous. But yeah, off the bat, this high tempo draft is really working out for them.
Most definitely. Faith Kian once again forced out of this lane, level 5 into the level 7 of this Razor. An absolute storm of a start here. In comes Catalyst, though, with the stolen use of that static storm. We've said before, being able to steal that link is really strong.
Oh.
But Reese still able to peek out and manage to clip onto God's drunkest driver, take him out in this lane.
Yeah, he's a bit of a machine on this Wind Ranger, to be honest. It looks like he has fun playing it. Every time I see him on this hero, it's like, oh dude, the vibes are just immaculate here. You're just having the best time. Just shooting out these power shots, these shackle shots.
Bad vibes though, Mousy. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Great minds, huh? Sounds like they're trying to make a follow-up play here with the Dark Willow, but he tries to make follow-up play and then says, actually no, maybe not. Meanwhile, Mist solo kill, with the aid of Reese, is able to take out Faith Kian in the meantime. 10-2. 6k net worth lead at 9 minutes, Moth.
Yeah, and Corey has just taken the entire top third of the enemy's map. He just bimbles over, takes the mid tower, and he's gonna go back to farming his Helm of the Overlord. And I'm not sure how they're gonna deal with a pack leader Helm of the Overlord until a certain point. If they do get the items, yeah, go on.
The Darkseer is half the net worth of Corey right now. 2,400 into 5,300. That's the level of dire straits we're talking about right here.
And they do. It's not a complete disaster. They do need less to be as effective, and they're trying to get it done here. But this is a slow, painful death.
They're doing the best they can to give the death of 1,000 cuts to the Lycan, who's just going to pop the shapeshift and just walk away. In fact, actually, he's going to go back in instead onto Mr. Crest. Solar now in some trouble here. Could go down, does throw out that stun, but it's not enough. But he also loses the Catalyst Morphling, who morphs the wrong way. Oh my god, that couldn't have gone worse. Oh no.
You have to take it solo for a second.
Oh no.
Yeah, just really unfortunate. Yeah, these heroes just a very high level of Dota on display here, and the Div3 can be tricky place to perform under pressure. A lot of these players first time in the limelight, and it just shows you it's a cruel game. It's a cruel game. They're about to do the exact same fucking move again.
All I'm saying is the Crabs for gas support does not die in this Div 3 game if he's in this game. That's all I'm saying. Now they're going to go onto this big old Lycan. What the dog doing? What the dog doing? Can they take him out? Solar Crest with the most needed kill of his life. But they still do take out Mousy in the aftermath. And it seems like the Centaur is going to pop onto this big... but Catalyst hit up with that leash in the meantime. And Sassy still takes out GD in the fountain. Call it, boys. It's 9 minutes. It's 9k.
The red button is for the HP.
Yeah.
But we learned that one at some point after the master tier level on Morphling. I think that's exclusive for the Grandmasters.
I mean, it says he is Grandmaster on the hero. He's just having a really difficult one so far.
No. Yeah. So it's not over. It's not over. Stop it. It's not over. They only need a Crimson and a Pipe and a Greaves on the Seer and a Lotus, and a Manta and a Butterfly and a BKB on Morphling, and they're in with a real shot this game. A real shot. Once they get those items, looks dicey for M&Ms.
See, now it sounds like when you did your last cast and did your run and tell impression, and I'm trying to be you instead, right? So I'm just gonna be yeah, they're kind of fucked. I get your point, but fuck, Am
I just a miserable prick? Is that it?
I mean, your words, not mine, right?
Yeah.
But listen, I'm gonna say, as Marcus Aurelius once said, "In the dawn of every dusk, hope springs eternal." And perhaps there's something they can do here, because they're currently trying to dual farm on 2 supports to get 6, which I think is as dusky as it fucking gets.
Didn't Marcus Aurelius' wife cheat on him with a gladiator?
I mean, maybe, but so did a lot of Emperor's wives, is the thing. Gladiators are the football players of their time. You could see, I don't know, what's her name? Fucking Trump's wife cheating on him with Kobe Bryant, right? That's like the equivalency.
You're saying that Marcus Aurelius is equivocable to Donald Trump. Is that the narrative here?
Trump definitely would have
Smoke
also
on smoke
over-engaged
action.
in
They're
Egypt.
jumping the Bat Rider.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice
shot.
hook shot from Mousy. Very well, nice played actually. They are going to get this kill. They get off that leash thereafter, but no follow-up to speak of. In comes a Razor. Mousy going to be the one to go down here, but a Bat Rider for Clockwork is the best this has gone so far for JOON, so a good engagement there in the end. They do lose their top tier 2 forward though, to this Lycan who has that helm in the Overlord now, and has just popped his ulti. The Angry Dog, a woof, a woof, a woof, ready to go. Going in now with this Morphling. You are not safe, sir. You have very little HP to speak of. Runs immediately away with that waveform, but now could start pressuring this mid tier 2.
He's mastered the art of the Morphling. His HP it changed so quickly there. He's it's gonna get tricky for M&Ms now that he knows that this button exists. But
The water bender has been awakened.
yeah, he's mastered the second element. Yeah, jokes aside, they have ways of killing any one hero, right? Like if they muster everything together, they can kill any one hero. But the problem is there's 5.
Indeed, and they are trying to make a go here. It looks like Mr. Diddle is positioning very aggressively. Is cut out with that Ignite, but doesn't connect there on the power shot, so he is able to walk away from this one. Faith Kian, in the meantime, not actually building into that pipe first, going for the Crimson Guard as his first item to try and nullify that Lycan somewhat.
Yeah, feels like he needs to put a stop to the towers falling. I can understand it. Like if they're able to hold these towers for long enough, they do. The Radiant team do hit like a ceiling in this game of how strong they can be, and Dire don't particularly. JOON's kind of scale pretty infinitely, and so Thea feels like he needs to be able to hold the towers on his own until that point.
Even in the meantime,
This looks
Dark
miserable,
Willow
dude.
being forced back by power shots.
This
Oh,
sucks.
poor Diddles, man. Diddles is like a very vibe place.
Ah!
Oh!
Playing Five Nights at Freddy's in his base here.
Yeah. Like I know Diddles for 16 years. This is a guy who, when things are going good, they're good, and when they're going bad, they're bad, man. He needs the confidence. He needs a game to be going well, and when they're in these tough spots, he really does feel the pressure more than most.
Yeah, and it's this stage where they need their cool, calm, and collected temple of a mid laner to be kind of like rallying them and be like, "It's all right, guys. This is all part of the plan. It's just a storm, Dick. Settle down, all right."
Harder to say when the Roche has 20 stacks of fucking napalm on him, and oh, winter pause.
Okay, that's what he's saying. He's like, right. Let's sit down. Assemble ourselves, guys. All hold
Sorry,
hands.
lag.
Get in
He
the
always has
same
lag. He's
circle
in
here.
Tasmania.
Yeah, there would be. There would be.
Fucking dingoes biting the internet cable again. Fucking Sharon, get the fuck in here. Sort it out.
I got a black widow under my mouse.
Onto my mousey.
Chill out.
Sorry, it was there. It was right there, bro. Like, come on. It's one extra letter. If you're
Yeah,
gonna
it's my
give me
fault.
that easy a pawn, it's exactly your fault.
Yeah.
But this Aegis is gonna go down. Are you putting it on the Lycan here, do you think?
It's tricky. It's a transformation hero. I think like Bat Rider's like the only hero that's died, right? So maybe you just chuck it on this guy, buy him his shard so that he can wail into the towers on his own. I really think Lycan, as long as he doesn't horribly misplay, really struggles to die. And if he does die, his team should kill all of them. But I don't know if it's the same vice versa.
They have only managed to take out that Lycan once in that mid engagement, and since then I did take all 5 heroes in order to do so, and there were no connections, and it just feels very hard for that to go on a team fight when, as we're about to see, the Ignite plus Power Shot combo is going to be dropped on Diddle's head in about 4 seconds. There's the warning shot of what's to come, the cannon shot across the bow, as it might be.
Two. So there was Shell Shock trying to clear his wave. God, there's another one!
Why are the trees speaking Vietnamese?
Yeah, he's gonna have PTSD after this one. For sure.
A tough
They
game.
do.
It's
Yeah,
worth
they
noting,
do.
look, A question about this. We saw Diddles move back into that off lane with the Willow. Do you think they'd be better off if they had kept the clock there?
It's, I mean, it's all with the power of hindsight, I guess. I think maybe this Razor would have just loved it even more. Like he gets to lane against two melee heroes, and maybe he just would have had an equally amazing time. But I do think that at least would have taken some of the heat off of Kian, you know? If they
In a
were
very
dumping all of
difficult
their
game.
spells into the clock.
Very tricky game so far for Faith Kian. He is still 6,100 in comparison to his opposing offlane, who's 10,700 comparatively. 4K net worth between the offlaners alone.
Yeah, the best individual game that we've had from Corey was his Beastmaster performance against Wong's in like the first round, I think. And he played very well. He won his lane. He took over the entire top third of the map. It was like the exact same story as this. And he wasn't able to close out the game, but other than this game, it was the closest they got to a win. Even if it was against a shit team like Wong's. So
Don't be so harsh on yourself, babes. Just because you're going to lose to Winter in the finals doesn't mean you got to be mean to yourself, you know?
I think they do need to lean into these Zoo heroes a bit more.
Speaking of Zoo, put Solar Crest into one because he is dead as hell on this Monkey King. No bars to speak of. Down he goes. Reese with the Assassinate kill, securing that one for his team.
Sheila, put another dingo on the Barbie. I'll be done soon.
A 6-pack of fucking VB for me, mate. No goon bag. I haven't earned my goon bag. You know, Solar Crest once told me about a game they play in Australia. It's called Goon of Fortune. And what it is, you know, like those like clothes hangers that are shaped like kind of in a hexagonal shape that spin.
Yeah, man.
You know, you use them for drying.
Yeah.
You put a bag of wine on the corner of one of those, and you all form a circle around it, and you spin it. Whoever it lands on has to drink half it. And I think maybe that's what JOON's did between game 1 and game 2.
Yeah, I would also lead on to say that a game that they do not seem to play in Australia is Dota. Especially after game 1 when you're half a bag of wine deep, I guess. So I think if they can make that big pivot after this and stray away from the clothes hangers of wine, then maybe they can figure out how to lane against a Lycan. But that's a puzzle that more than just them are going to have to solve, I think, because he's looked pretty dominant in this one. But they're gonna smoke out. They're still showing signs of life.
Yeah, making a play here. They know the Tormentor's up, and last game the Tormentor was something that the side of the M&Ms wanted to take, and they managed to take advantage of the Tormentor fight. But they're immediately solo it on the Lycan and then go straight through the portal. So nothing to speak of in terms of response, and just enables a push onto this bot lane. And JOONs are still thinking that he's in this top lane, and he's just already gone.
Yeah, they might. It looks like they want a wrap. They are bringing 3 heroes through the gate. They're going to be behind them. But I don't know if they have the damage, even if they do get behind them. Lycan is in the way.
Still 400 gold to that Crimson Guard Faith Cannon. They showed on that wave. They know they're there. They're pinged out. So this is not a secret go by any means. The tower is fortified. The rocket comes out, giving them further credence of where they are. No response yet to speak of. Can they do anything here? Here comes the ult coming out from the Monkey King. Drops immediately onto this big old Lycan with that BKB. He just chomps down Solar Crest in 3 hits. They do take out Sassy, but what can they do thereafter? The wall is there. Mass TPs, but Mist is chomping through all of them. It's a 2-for-1 so far. All their ultis blown and nothing gained except for a Morphling who's able to somewhat cut a wave or two.
They used Glyph as well just prior to this to try and keep this tower alive, so they had something to fight around. And now they found themselves, they lost the team fight and they burnt the Glyph. This is like a last hurrah here. This is their only option. Something's got to work. It's got to go their way.
Mousy tries to run in, but is hit by that Gale Force, unable to move whatsoever. Faith Kian does pick up the Crimson Guard, but now hit up with that leash. Forced to surge early, does break it almost immediately. Nice start to this. But they have no wall to speak of, no hook shot. They do have the ult coming out from this Dark Bro, but in comes this big old lasso immediately onto Catalyst, and Catalyst is chopped down by Reese, and now Solar Crest looking like he's in equal amounts of trouble. Down he goes in the Monkey King. This is all she wrote. It's 3-0. The racks are exposed. Mousie's slowly being pushed back in. It's a 1-1 at the end of this one for the side of an MM. What is the head-to-head?
I believe that it is a repeat of this series. I think you were wrong about the playoffs. I think when this goes into elimination, it will just be these guys playing each other again, which is pretty exciting in my opinion. This is like one of the better series that these guys produced. And yeah, I'd be excited to see these two play again.
Yeah, really, really nice performance from both these teams. I mean, game 2 looked pretty fucking rough for the side of JOON squad, but again, game 1 showing they do have signs of life in this tournament, maybe sticking with those lanes, which to be fair, were the lanes they've done in every tournament up to this point. Mousy has always been with Kian. Maybe that's just what they're better at.
Yeah, I think we got to see a good amount of like what we would like to see more of from these teams moving forwards, right? Like Corey finally managed to find himself something that is able to kind of to win himself 2 lanes instead of just 1, and something that he's able to really abuse his knowledge of the map state. And from JOON's, we were able to see more of what they've had success with in the past, with just like really fundamentally strong drafts that kind of get into the enemy's head and make the enemy feel like they have to play into them, and then punish them for it. So I do think this was a success for both teams. They established some identity. It's just whether they're going to be able to build on that as it goes into eliminations.
It seems like in just a minute, guys, stay tuned. We're going to have an interview with Reese, but a question there in the chat is who won game 1? Game 1 was a very solid win for the JOON squad, actually. So this does finish 1-1 at the end. And we're about to hear from Reese himself, who has just joined the call. Reese, a difficult game 1, but quite an impressive game 2 there. How are you feeling?
It feels good to win. I'm not going to lie. One out of 8, is it? 1 out of 10? Whatever it is. But we're ready now. They were all scrims. They were warm-ups. You know, we're ready to take this now.
Upper brackets for bitches, right?
Exactly. Just don't ban Lycan.
The first question I have for you is
go
just... sorry, I don't mean to go across either mouth.
Yeah,
first one for you is just, we've talked a lot in the draft about your team's tendency to focus most of the farm on Corey on that offlane position. Do you think that is something that has worked for you guys this league? And is that something you want to keep doing going forward, or will you split that more with Mist?
Well, it hasn't done too well for us, clearly. We're like 1-7. I think it's more that Corey likes to play a couple, not greedy heroes, but he likes to go away, get his farm. You know, Mist's off rolling, bless him, so he goes away, gets what he can, and then we just try and win, and it normally doesn't work. But I think the more games that they all play together, the better it seems to be. Like the first few games that we played, it felt like a disaster, to be honest. But like even though we've lost the last few weeks, we've felt like the games generally went a little bit better. Like we were able to pinpoint why we lost, really.
Do you find do you think that this is like your eureka moment, this game, or is this just finally the one where all the pieces came together? Because I believe, if I'm not greatly mistaken, this is going to be the same matchup that you're going to play in the first round of the eliminations. So are we just going to see 2 more of these clean 26-5s, or is there still some unfixed business from game 1?
Oh, even better. They won't even get 5 kills next time.
Yeah. Okay. Come on.
20. It's going to be 24-3, and they're going to GG out at like 18 minutes. Clip this.
Write that down. Chat. Jarvis, clip that.
Clip it down. In terms of that first game, just want to question it. Both myself and Maniac were a little surprised by the Luna pick. Could you talk us through that?
My carry said he wanted Luna.
That's all it was, huh?
Good.
Yeah, I think we knew that it wasn't the greatest Luna pick, but I think it was a little bit of a mixture of comfort, and we thought that while the lane. Most of the heroes that like we wanted to pick kinda didn't like the Kunkka. We figured that Luna was probably the best one just to go away and get some farm. Like in hindsight, maybe we should have just picked Razor and just done what we did game 2.
Last one from me really is: do you have, obviously the inevitable answer is to win, but is there a result that you'd really like? Is there a team that you really want to knock out? Any specific matchups you're itching for?
No, I think there's not any teams I want to specifically knock out. I think it's more I'm just going to strive to become on the top of the imprint leaderboard because that's actually all that matters in this league, and it's really dear to my heart.
I don't know. I hear that leaderboard is a bit KDA focused. Is the inside baseball?
Yeah,
that
well-
I've been hearing.
Yeah, well, I didn't die last game, so I'm expecting to be like maybe top 3.
Get all the patter points while you can have them. Last question from me is just, I mean, obviously we don't know you guys as well as a team in the Irish Dota circuit. So do you want to give us just a bit of insight into, how long you guys been playing together and what the vibes were like generally after that first game?
So myself, Corey, and Mist have probably played together, not as a team, but like in unranked and just different games or whatever. Probably 5-6 years now. Obviously Owen, we didn't really. Well, most of the team didn't really know him. I've played with him a little bit. And Sassy, again, it's been 3-4 years. Just some of the UK scene, just playing some unranked together, really. The vibes after game 1, I think after the Ancient exploded, I shouted, "I just want to win a game." And then somehow we shifted all of the blame. I shifted all of the blame onto Corey to make the rest of the team feel better. And it clearly worked. So shifting the blame has done wonders.
You followed the Stalinist Russian approach. It's all letting, guys. We'll figure it out thereafter. Fuck this guy. He's the problem. But actually, thank you so much for joining us on the post-game interview. We wish you the best of luck in your next series. Folks, that is all from us for this evening. Coming up soon in Irish Dota, this Sunday, you have the Div2 playoffs. Definitely ones to watch. Ausgang versus Champs, and Champs versus Chumps. And on Saturday night, we have BDC versus Lose Last Hitters. If you are with us tonight and you have never heard of the Irish Dota League before or know what we're about and you want to get involved, want to play in a team, please do check out the Discord link below. Everyone is welcome as long as you're not a dumbass. We're kind-ish to new people, and there are so many opportunities to make some great new friends, come to some great events, and to potentially play in this league next season. We have 3 divisions. There is the Div 1 you saw tonight, Immortals. We have Div 2, which is ranging from Legend to Divine. We have Div 3, which used to be Legend and below, but is a bit flexible this season. So if you want to be a part, please do click that Discord link in the description. We would love to have you. To my handsome co-caster, Mr. Maniac, as well as the handsomest of obses in all the land, who has been putting in one hell of a shift this season, Auntie. Thank you so much this evening, boys.
Hi guys, thank you for watching.
And I'm not in a cupboard. Fuck you guys in Twitch chat.
Bad things happen to good people. None of us were ever really born equal. Only one life, there ain't no sequel. Some people live, others stay fearful. This world ain't never been peaceful. You got good, always butting heads against evil. The good try to be fair, but the bad lethal. They gon' fight dirty, every single one deceitful. Stand up, I wanna see your face. Get your chin up like you belong in this place. We gon' train like you've never trained before. You're going up against something that you can't ignore. This ain't a game, this your life that we're playing with. There ain't no reset button or an off switch. You gotta face your fears, you gotta scratch the itch. You gotta break through the walls and get after it. Only time will tell who's gonna make it. I promise you, I'ma be the one who's gonna take it. I fight, I provide, leaving blood on the pavement. If you're up against me, then you better be praying, cause I'll keep punching till my knuckles start breaking. I'll keep going through the blood that I'm tasting. I won't stop till they've all seen greatness. The battle for my world just started, I've been waiting.
Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, no there ain't no one else. Pick a side by yourself.
Got this, there ain't no going back. Leave it all on the battlefield, push the attack. You can't stop me, I'm obsessive. A lot of people think that I come off aggressive, but I'm just passionate. Why aren't you? Ain't nobody care if you got nothing to lose. You gotta put yourself on the line, make moves. Otherwise you'll be a sheep with the lions watching you. Only time will tell who's gonna make it. I promise you, I'ma be the one who's gonna take it. I fight, I provide, leaving blood on the pavement. If you're up against me, then you better be praying, cause I'll keep punching till my knuckles start breaking. I'll keep going through the blood that I'm tasting. I won't stop till they've all seen greatness. The battle for my world just started, I've been waiting.
Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, no there ain't no one else. Pick a side by yourself.
Today is the day, don't waste any time. Know it's time to make a change. Up in your mind, rearrange. Start thinking you're the hero headed out on your way.